This is our Christmas Spectacular. I'm filling in for Alan today, and we're going to go over Christmas horror movies.
Yes, there are so many Christmas horror movies. Can't wait to jump into these. So yeah, man, we're covering Christmas horror films. Let's get to it.
First thing we're going to do, of course, is hit our honorable mentions. These are ones that did not make our cut.
Yeah, I mean, they're good, but there's so many Christmas horror movies. So many. You can talk about these for probably days.
Yeah.
We don't have days. So we're going to start out with, this one I watched with my friend Jesse. And you ever hear of Christmas Evil?
Heard of it, haven't watched it.
So it's distributed through Trauma, but it's not a Trauma movie. So
Okay.
I don't know, man. People love this movie. I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan. I watched it once, and this was years ago with Jesse, and I think it took 45 minutes for the first kill in the movie, and it was like, well, damn, 45 minutes in, and I'm already bored.
Right, and you're used to horror movies that, the first sequence is a kill.
Right.
And then you kind of get into a story before they get into the next one.
I mean, to sum it up, basically, you got this guy who, from what I remember, doesn't like Christmas very much and decides to start killing people. The classic MO of a horror Christmas movie.
Right.
But I just don't think it was done well. I just don't think it was one that... It's something I haven't watched since, and I'm pretty sure we made a vow that day to not watch it ever again. And so far, I've stuck to that. So
All right.
We'll move on with that one. Just not a fan, man. I don't know. It wasn't my thing. This is one that I personally haven't watched yet. Don't hope until Christmas.
Okay.
I've heard it takes a different take on your Christmas horror, so it's not so much Santa killing people, but it's people going after someone or something going after Santa.
All right.
More of a mystery cop type thing. I've never watched this one. I would like to eventually. It was on my list. I tried to do this whole thing where I wanted to do 25 horror movies in 25 days. I made it to 10. Stopped at 10. Couldn't do it. Christmas time is busy. It just is,
Now, this one I've actually heard of.
Yeah.
And from what I've been told, it's actually a very slow-moving movie.
Slow burn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes those are a curse. Kind of
Yeah.
like Christmas Evil, very slow burn.
Yep.
I'll eventually check it out. Hopefully it's decent. I can't really say now, but I wanted to throw it on an honorable mention list because, well, it's a Christmas horror movie.
Why not?
Moving on to this one. Elves. Have you ever seen this one?
I have not.
All right, so this one came out in the 80s. It should have just been called Elf because there was only one. He would look more like a, remember the movie The Gate? Remember those little, creatures from The Gate? He kind of looked like that.
Okay.
And Dan Haggerty from Gentle Ben was in it. And it was just, he was the best part of the movie. Listen, man, it took a weird turn. This elf came back and he was it looked like he was kind of protecting this female, and you find out why. He came back to have sex with this girl to then make more little elves to pretty much take over the world. That's when it took the fucked up turn. Weird movie, man, but it was the 80s, and that's what you expect from stuff like that.
Right.
Very strange, though. Very, very strange movie. I probably won't watch it again. That was one of my 25 and 25 days. Only made it to 10, though. So I did watch that. Probably won't do it again. Yeah, moving on. This is another one that I watched during my trying to do the 10, I made it 10, trying to 25. All the Creatures Were Stirring. It's a new one for this year.
I haven't heard of this one at all.
It's an anthology.
Okay.
I love my anthology movies. I can't wait to do a show on anthologies. It had its moments. Some of it was decent. You think these two are on a date or whatever the hell they're supposed to be doing. They're sitting in a theater. But it's acting out, the people are acting out what's going on in the short that they're watching. It's really, really weird. It wasn't bad. I may watch it again sometime. I won't rush to do it, but it was decent. If you're looking for, every year there's new Christmas horror movies that come out. Whether they be low budget, sometimes you get a big budget one. This one was on the low budget end. But sometimes you find a hidden gem.
Sure.
Which I'll talk about in this next one. This one here was one of those hidden gems. Mother Krampus 2. Have you ever heard of this one?
I feel like I have.
Okay.
I can't tell you anything about
All right.
it.
It's made by a local filmmaker from Cleveland.
Okay.
Who actually I've spoke to a couple of times. Really nice guy. And it, to me, was one of those hidden gems. you walk into Walmart, you walk into Family Video, and you see this on the shelf, and you see the cover, and you're gonna be like, ah, it's one of those, you know. But sometimes you gotta take a chance, man, because sometimes they're hidden gems. This movie was actually really cool, like the way it was done. The mask. I wish I could pull it up and show it to you right now, but the mask in the movie looked just like a Michael Myers mask, only dirtied up with eyebrows and long black hair. I swear that was a Michael Myers mask. Even on screen, it reads like Michael Myers.
No horns or anything?
No horns. No. It was this woman. All right. So long story short, there's these group of girls who are doing like they have a parole officer, so they're doing their time basically. Okay. So they take them to this like local, we'll say like soup kitchen type of deal, and one being a drag queen, which stole the show. Hilarious, dude. Hilarious. Anyway, they're doing their thing, and they go out now to these houses, and they take food to these families and stuff. So they end up going to this house where this woman prior has killed this entire family, and now has taken off her mask, and now she's just an average, everyday older woman, you know? But she's not. Right. Obviously, she's not. So these girls end up at this house, obviously. So they're getting knocked off now. They're getting killed throughout this, and they find out that she's the one doing it. A couple of them do survive. But at the very end, she does pop up again. Classic horror movie.
Right. Final
but,
scare.
Yeah, exactly. Very well done, though. Like I said, the drag queen was the best. Like, was awesome. Like, definitely stole the show. Cool movie, though. If you ever get a chance, check it out. Like I said, one of those, don't judge it by the cover. Don't take it as one of those you see at Walmart with the other movies that come out on the random Tuesdays, and you're like, oh, I'm going to watch this.
Those $5 ones.
Yeah, but this was fun. Honestly, it was a fun movie. So we got that one, and then we're going to move on to, this one is one that I need to watch. I've heard about this one for years. Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale. Have you ever heard of this one?
No.
It's a foreign film, so it's one of those ones you have to be in the mood to read your movie instead of watch it.
Which those aren't bad.
No, they're not. They're not.
I mean,
not
you can really get into them because you're paying more attention because you're trying to read what's going on.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know much about it except for there's a crew digging somewhere and they dig up Santa Claus. That's all I know. He's not the nicest guy. Other than that, I don't know much about it, which sucks because it was on my list to watch. Didn't make it. It was on my list to watch, and I'm hoping at least get to watch it. Hey, man, it's still winter time. I can still pull it off, right?
Right.
But I definitely want to check that one out.
Sit your last, 15 in the next
yeah, right?
3 days?
So this was another one that came out this year, and it was another, of course, Christmas horror movie called Secret Santa. So, all right, I decided, let's check it out. This one I did get a chance to watch. So you had this family, albeit a very fucked up, dysfunctional family, at this Christmas dinner.
As most Christmas horror movies are.
Right. So the one daughter decided to get everyone together for Christmas, and you can see this family is just tore up. Mom and dad aren't together anymore. Mom's over here making fun of the help with the sister, and the dad shows up who they didn't know was coming. The sister's a complete asshole. The brother's a complete asshole. I mean, the list goes on. This is a messed up family. Okay. So it plays out to where they're sitting there having dinner, and then they start to do a Secret Santa thing. So the thing is, you get a gift, and you have to guess who it came from. So long story short, they were pretty shitty to the one sister throughout when she was a kid, I guess. Some shit went down, so she gets this gift of being able to travel Europe, basically. And she finds out that her sister got it for her because she was, back in the day, the sister something happened where she was supposed to go on this trip and got canceled because her friends pulled a prank on the girl, and it was her fault. So she's trying to make up for it.
Right.
The day, everybody starts swearing and being shitty and stuff. Everybody's complaining about being hot and everything. And all of a sudden, the dad takes a fork and shoves it in the uncle's neck and kills him. And it's like, what the fuck, right? So all this starts happening to all these different family members. Everybody starts getting all crazy and doing all this weird shit. Everybody's getting killed. All this other weird stuff's going on. And you basically find out towards the end that it was the sister, the one that they picked on and shit, put this stuff in their punch. And it was supposed to make everybody tell the truth. Instead, it made them fucking go nuts. And basically, the entire family gets wiped out. The surviving daughter, which was the one that started the whole Christmas party thing, makes it to the end, and a family almost runs her over with the car. When they get out to see if she's okay, she fucking snaps too. And then they let you know that even though she didn't drink the punch, if their blood really get on you or something, you get this whatever disease or the hell it's supposed to be.
It's a different take.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It was actually kind of fun. But it was different, like you said, very different take on it. But if you get a chance, check it out.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. This one is a product of the 80s too. To All a Good Night. Okay.
There's a lot to be said about
Yeah.
80s horror movies.
This was one of the ones that I did manage to watch. I don't know. It had the classic story. You had a sorority house. They were doing something. Something went wrong. The girl fell off the balcony. She died. Years later, you're having a party at this sorority. It wasn't really much of a party. It was just a couple girls, a couple guys. In the 80s, that was a party, I guess. And, people start getting killed by this masked Santa Claus killer. It's like, oh, okay. So you find out towards the end that it was the mom of the daughter. And the dad was involved in it, too, because he was the police captain. And it's like, oh, this is a big fucked up family thing, right? But there was this girl in the movie. I don't understand this part for nothing in the world. They didn't explain it. I tried to Google the shit to find out why. There was a scene where someone got killed. The girl sees it. No, I'm sorry. Then Santa goes to kill this girl. And I think she lifts the mask to, show her who it is. And the girl screams. You think she's dead. You see her twirling around, singing and dancing through the rest of the movie, and you're like, what the fuck happened? Is she possessed? Did she go nuts from seeing what happened? Like, there's no explanation of it. None.
The explanation is it was the 80s.
Yeah, and he said it, hit it right on the head, man. Nail on the head. It was the 80s, and you could do dumb shit like that. If anybody knows what the fuck was going on in that movie, why she was dancing around and singing and prancing, and please somebody fucking tell me. Because I don't know, and I want to know why.
Comment section down below.
Please, somebody tell me something, because that was some weird shit. So the last one in honorable mentions, and this is a good time, man. If you haven't, jump on YouTube and check this out. It's called Treevenge. All right, so it's like a 16-minute short, and it shows the way people treat their Christmas trees. So like they're getting chopped down, they're getting just lugged around, this and that. If one's not good enough, they shred it up, and everything else. But it shows now the Christmas tree's getting their revenge. So dude, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the coolest little shorts.
Is it like what's it called? M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening, where like
yeah.
nature kind of like tries to
just on a very
get the revenge.
lower budget, more scale, but fun as shit. Like there's a scene where these two are like, the dude basically says he doesn't care about gifts, he just wants to fuck, and the dude wasn't playing. So like him and his chick are messing around and all this shit, and all of a sudden the tree goes through the girl's mouth into his and brings them together. It was really fucking cool, man. Like it's a cool ass horror short. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It's on YouTube. Look up Treevenge.
I'm picturing a combination of The Happening with Evil Dead, where the tree rapes the girl.
You're on the right track, and the trees talk too. Like they have like a gibberish, and of course it comes up on the screen and stuff. So
right.
There's some there's some closed captioning there, but a very fun watch though around Christmas. Hell, anytime honestly. If you ever thought about the hell that Christmas trees go through, now you find out. Now you see what they're all about.
Man, not to my list.
And at the end of it is a very cool kill that involves a child. I don't want to say anything more because you haven't seen it yet, but it's a really cool kill. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, go to YouTube, check it out. So those are our honorable mentions. When we come back, we're going to hit the big dogs, man. The fun, more well-known Christmas horror movies. So we look forward, because I know you have a couple that you're real good with too. So we'll be right back with those.
Welcome back, guys. Now we're going to get into our heavy hitters. These are the ones that are on our list, our naughty list.
Yeah, that would have to be the naughty list. Yeah, absolutely.
They're on our naughty list for the season. You guys, these are ones that you definitely should check out.
It's a good segue into our first one, the naughty list. So, Tales from the Crypt. I love Tales from the Crypt as a show. Always was a huge fan of Tales from the Crypt. And they had their very first episode was a Christmas episode. If I remember correctly. I won't say it was the very first one. No, it's on the first season. So here we have a wife kills her husband, okay? And now she's trying to get rid of the body. She puts a poker right through the head. Husband's dead. Now we're going to try to get rid of the body. As she's doing this, on the radio comes across a little thing that says that a man dressed as Santa has escaped from an asylum and he's killing people. Well, you know where that's going to go, right?
Absolutely.
So she hears this and she figures, well, whatever. She's doing her thing. She's trying to get rid of the body. Obviously, you don't want to get caught, right? So Santa shows up at her house. You knew that was coming. And, she ends up, she thinks she killed Santa. And Santa's played by Larry Drake, who plays Dr. Giggles, which I think he did a great job in both roles. So she thinks now, oh, this is her out, man. Santa killed him. So she's going to call the cops now and say, oh, no, he's here and all this other shit. Yeah, Santa's not dead. Not dead at all. So So of course, there goes through some little back and forth. Santa's trying to get in the house. She thinks she kills him a couple times. That whole Michael Myers thing. You think he's dead, but he's not. And it ends up coming down to she gets locked in a closet, and Santa decides now he's going to climb the ladder on the side of the house, and the little girl's trying to get Santa in the house. Okay, so mom's freaking out. She gets out of the closet, goes upstairs. Little girl's not in the room, and all of a sudden, little girl says, Mommy, I let Santa in, and here's deranged Santa with an axe behind him, messed up face.
I was going to say, my favorite part about this, I watched this when I was younger, and my favorite part about this is, or scariest part at that age, was his teeth.
Yeah.
I remember his teeth were so jacked up.
Yes.
And that creeped me out more than anything else.
Absolutely, man. I love this, like, if you want to call it segment, whatever, Tales from the Crypt. Again, one of my favorite shows. I still watch it today. Like, that's, except for the last season, terrible. But the rest of the seasons were just phenomenal, man. Some of the best shows put together. But this one was based off of the 1975 Tales from the Crypt movie, which was an anthology. Where, again, same thing, deranged Santa. They don't go into too much detail because this one was more or less like, the Tales from the Crypt episode was like a half an hour long.
Yeah, something like that.
This segment on the original Tales from the Crypt was maybe something like it was 10, 12 minutes long. So there wasn't that much detail into it, but you get the gist. She kills the husband. That one was more rightfully so. The husband seemed like a nice guy, but the wife just seemed like a bitch. It was played by Joan Collins, by the way. But she just seemed like a bitch. She killed the husband for no reason. He's bought her a nice gift and everything. Was super excited. She killed him. Same thing though. Santa gets in, kills her, and that's pretty much it. But very, very quick though. Not as good as the other Tales from the Crypt version. Like, of course, they took it and they made it and get more time to it and put more story behind it. But I know you had one you wanted to talk about too.
Well, speaking of like these shows, because this is a TV show.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone always had really good episodes, and I know they had their Christmas special.
Yeah.
And the difference between Twilight Zone and Tales from the Crypt is Twilight Zone was meant to make you feel weird and creepy, opposed to Tales from the Crypt, which was a lot of more gore and everything.
You were entering a whole new dimension.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And so, like, the one I remember is, I believe it's called A Meek Christmas, or Christmas with Meek, something along those lines. And you start by seeing Santa sitting on a set of steps, but a guy dressed as Santa, and you feel like he's drunk, or at least
You say drunk as I take a sip of beer, by the way. Just saying, just throwing it out there.
And this guy comes up to him and is talking to him, and I mean, this Santa's just like down on his luck, down on his life, blah 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 blah, and in true Twilight Zone fashion, it's slow moving.
Right.
A
lot of those were.
Yeah. But they build to something bigger.
Yep.
So he walks around this corner, sees a sleigh, with reindeer pulling it, and ooh nobody's in the sleigh. He starts walking away, and there's a little kid sitting in it, and the little kid happens to be an elf, and it turns out that this Santa is actually Santa.
Wow.
And so I mean, it's like I said, Twilight Zone-y. It's oh my goodness, my mind's blown, and I'm sure back at that time, it was blowing people's minds. Nowadays people watch this and they'll be like, yeah, I probably saw that coming a while away.
Right.
But I am big on these black and white series. Like,
oh yeah, man.
So Twilight Zone. I have the whole collection at home. I love
awesome.
this whole thing.
Like I said, same thing about Tales from the Crypt '75. By no means was it a great movie, but it set the tone for Tales from the Crypt TV series.
Right.
And that's what they based it off of.
Right.
And again, their version of And All Through the House was different. I prefer the newer version, the newer at that time, version of it. But again, it set the tone in '75 though. Same thing like Twilight Zone.
Right.
And people have taken from that too and made movies and taken ideas from that too. I mean, that's just how it works, man. All right, so we're gonna move on to this one, which I don't know if you've ever seen this one. If you haven't, I think you would enjoy this one because you're like me when it comes to movies like this. A Cadaver Christmas.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of this? Oh man, okay. I heard of this one. I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, and I ended up buying it. I ordered it from like Amazon, I think it was, and I wasn't disappointed. Like, fun ass movie. To give a short little part of it, so you have this janitor who works at this college. He walks into a bar covered in blood, and these guys are like, "What the fuck?" Like, where did you come from? So of course the owner calls the cops. Well, cop. He shows up, and they want to know now what the fuck happened? Why are you covered in blood? And he's trying to tell them that he was at this college, and these cadavers, who they want to keep calling zombies, but he lets them know cadavers, came back to life, and they're just all over the place. And the dude was trying to kill them, right?
Zombies.
Exactly. And he'll fight you out and say cadavers many times throughout the movie. So they go back to this college. He takes the local drunk, the bartender, and this cop, to the college with him. And these cadavers, zombies, are coming back to life, and doing their thing. They find out there was a scientist in there who had this like serum or whatever that rejuvenated these cadavers, zombies. And they were coming back to life. Obviously, now these people, it goes by the rules of zombies, so it's really not just a cadaver. If you were bit, you turn. And these guys were turned instantly, man. Like, as soon as they got bit, they were turned into zombies. Cadavers, whatever. Super fun movie. Very low budget, super fun. The one guy did get bit, but he was drinking this, like, concoction that he made, some type of alcohol, and somehow he surpassed it and then turned into a zombie. At the very end of the movie, they arrest these two poor bastards because they felt like they killed all these fucking people, and they're getting blamed for the whole thing. It's a black screen, but you hear the cops go to the bar where they had prior already taken some of these cadaver zombies and cuff them up, and one of the cops gets bit and turns. So they let it for a sequel. Unfortunately, hasn't been one yet. I would love to see a sequel to it, just kind of pick up from where they left off. But a fun movie nonetheless. If you get a chance, check it out. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. Let us know what you think about it. I love it. Fun ass movie, and that's what these movies are all about. For the most part, they're over the top, silly, stupid, fun. Right. And a lot of the time they're cheese. But that's what Christmas horror movies are about. Moving on to one that is well known by everybody, and I'm gonna let you cover this one as soon as I find the folder for it, because it's on here. But this one, like I said, is definitely well known by everybody. And there's a debate over this one, so we're going to cover that also. And that is The Nightmare Before Christmas. So take it away, Kevin.
All right, I literally just had this debate. People say it's a a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Some people say it's a Christmas movie.
Yes.
My take on it is yes, it's both.
Absolutely.
But the reason that we're covering it is because it starts when Halloween ends.
Sure does.
And moves forward to Christmas.
Yep.
So it is a Christmas movie.
I agree.
It's even in the title.
Very much so.
So if you guys haven't seen this one, I mean, obviously, it's one of those ones that you go to Hot Topic and you see the hoodies with Jack Skellington's face on it.
There is so much merchandise for this. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But so for the random few people who have not seen it, it's a claymation movie.
Yep.
So if those are always interesting to watch, like the old Godzilla and everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
man. It's very well done.
Yeah.
It's very seamless. The characters walk stiff and everything, but it is so good to watch. Follows a guy named Jack Skellington.
Yes, it does.
Who happens to be like the hero of Halloween Town. He wanders into a forest. He's feeling basically lethargic. Because he is depressed about what they do, blah blah blah. Stumbles across these trees that have doors in them. There's an Easter egg, there's the Christmas tree, so on. He goes into the Christmas one, sees Christmas Town, falls in love with Christmas Town because it's something completely different.
Absolutely.
Goes back to Halloween Town and tells all these like nightmare style creatures, "Hey, we're gonna take over Christmas this year."
Yep.
Ends up hiring these trick or treaters to kidnap Santa Claus.
Yes.
Gives everybody tasks. You have to make my costume. You have to build toys. Blah blah blah.
Right.
And sets up to take over Christmas. Well, meanwhile, the trick or treaters drop Santa into the Boogie Woogie Man's.
And by the way, this isn't a Christmas movie to some people, like you said. How is it not?
Right.
How is it not?
Yeah. I mean, Santa's one of the key players in it.
And I just want to throw in that Jack Skellington is voiced by one of my favorite people, Chris Sarandon, who is Jerry Dandridge from Fright Night. You all know my love of Fright Night. Alan, who's not with us today, likes the remake. We've had a big fight about that one. The remake sucks. The original Fright Night is where it's at. But back to you.
I'll agree with you on that one.
Yes.
But anyway, so I don't want to get too in depth in it, but so the Halloween creatures make demented toys. Jack Skellington, ends up going out and delivering these toys to all the kids, and these toys are basically attacking the kids and the families and blah blah blah.
Definitely not the Christmas that we're used to.
Right,
yeah.
Right. I mean, I've had some bad presents, but nothing like that.
I mean, I love my horror, but if my toy came to life, I'd freak the fuck out. I'm just saying, I'd freak out just a little bit.
Fair point. but ends up, you know, he comes, you know, they're getting attacked, or he's getting attacked, I'm sorry, by the military trying to shoot him down because there's this crazy demented Santa delivering demented toys. Sees the errors of his ways, comes back to Halloween Town looking for Santa Claus. Like I said, the trick-or-treaters dropped him off to the Boogie Woogie Man, who is messed up.
Yeah.
Basically wants to torture Santa Claus. And, you know, Jack has to save Santa so Santa can save Christmas. It is kid-friendly,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I know I watched it when I was in elementary school, maybe middle school.
And my daughter watches it now. She's
Right.
9, so she's watched it before that. So
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Man.
But it is a Tim Burton movie.
Yep.
And I will, till my dying breath, fight that Tim Burton is one of the best directors.
Some of the best movies out there, man.
Absolutely.
Edward Scissorhands. Love that movie.
Mars
Love
Attacks.
Yes. Yes.
So, if you guys haven't seen it, which I have a hard time thinking that anybody hasn't seen it, or at least seen some parts
would
of it.
have to be living under a rock if you've
Right.
never seen The Nightmare Before Christmas.
And there's
Seriously.
some really good music in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not a
very
musical
good,
person.
Done by
but-
Danny Elfman, who did a great soundtrack for that movie. Who's done stuff for like Beetlejuice and countless other movies.
Another
yeah.
Tim Burton movie.
Absolutely, yes. So then
So-
we're keeping in the Tim Burton element here. Again, it's not a Christmas movie though. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Sorry. There's a meme that goes around.
I will argue you guys on this.
Yeah, there's a meme that goes around every Halloween and every Christmas, and it shows Jack Skellington and says, "Do you watch this during Halloween or Christmas?" And the answer is both, because you can watch it anytime. Really, you can watch it anytime you want to.
I do watch it for both.
You know,
It is always on my 31 Days of Halloween,
and it's
and
in
it's
your Christmas.
always one of my December
Exactly.
movies.
So we're gonna move on to this one, man. This movie. You probably haven't seen this one. This was, I want to say, 2 years ago. This one came out. It's called All Through the House. I don't know how to explain this movie, man. The Santa mask was creepy as shit looking. And again, this has been a while since I've seen it, so I don't really remember everything about it. But someone asked me one time. They said, "Have you ever seen this movie?" And I said, "Yeah." And someone had posted about it on Facebook a couple of days ago, and my exact words were what I said to this person when they asked me about it. They said, "Well, how was it?" I said, "I don't really know." Except for in the movie, Santa was cutting off people's dicks, and yeah, at one point, Santa had a bag, or Santa's sack, if you want to segue into a joke, I guess. Had a Santa's bag full of dicks, and it was assorted sizes and colors.
I suppose if Santa can only come one time a year.
So can everybody else, right? Santa had a bag of dicks. So if anyone ever tells you eat a bag of dicks, they took it literally in this movie. Santa had a bag of dicks. Again, assorted sizes and colors. That is the only thing I remember from this movie, that and the mask. And that's it. I don't remember much else from it. Not to say it was terrible, because I mean, I'd probably go back and watch it again. I probably need to, because I don't remember much other except for, sadly enough, the dicks and the mask. So yeah, that's the gist of that movie.
All right.
Next one we're going to go into is a fun one, especially if you're a wrestling fan too.
Absolutely.
And that is Santa's Sleigh. I'm going to let you take this one, man. Yeah, go for it.
All right, so I saw this when it first came out, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I watched it again recently.
It's a fun movie, man.
Yeah.
I just, it's weird. I have a huge horror collection. I didn't have this one. I just bought it a couple weeks ago.
It's right here.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I just bought that a couple weeks ago. I found it on Barnes & Noble had it for like $7. Couldn't pass it up. Like, that's one that I never came across, and I never owned it, and I had to get it, man. I had to.
Fun fact, I guess, you can watch the whole movie on YouTube. Somebody's uploaded it, and it's full quality, great
About
quality.
$7. No, I'm just playing. I love that I have my own physical copy, though. It's cool.
But yeah, so as he said, the movie actually is starring Bill Goldberg, who wrestling fans would know.
Yes, WCW champion, WWE champion, yes.
Which I'm very disappointed. He didn't say who's next in this movie whatsoever.
They just, it was WWE produced movie. He just said it.
Oh yeah,
He just said it.
probably a couple times.
And they had a shirt with him on it as Santa that said who's next.
But
Yeah.
long story short, so Santa is actually Satan's son.
That's things.
It is a very, it's a nice, interesting twist on the whole thing. And I mean, it's same letters. Why not?
Very much so. Yeah.
But so what happens is an angel tricks Satan's son and made it so that for 1,000 years he had to be good and deliver presents, because before that he was basically going around killing people. You know, it's his birthday.
Your average Santa killer, movie.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's Santa's birthday. He goes around killing people. The angel tricks him. And it's funny how they get the name Christmas in it, because they say that all these Christians would go and have a Mass of Christ. And so, through the years, it just gets twisted around, blah, blah, blah. But this Mass was to basically protect him from this. So this angel tricks him into gambling, basically, that he would be good for 1,000 years and deliver presents and all this. And they go through it all in the movie.
Right.
Very, very well done. But I will say, the movie, the acting is what you'd think you'd find in an 80s movie, opposed to it's a 2005 movie.
It's very cheesy, but it's fun cheesy, though.
Yes, and the killings are extremely cheesy.
Yes.
All right, so the only Jewish guy in the movie gets killed with a menorah through the neck.
Gotta love it.
Yes. Another guy dies with a candy cane through his eye.
That's fun.
That's
a good one.
But he does. I mean, he strangles people with garland and stuff like that, and it's just
stays true to the whole Christmas thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's this kid that his grandfather knew about this whole thing, and has basically been a doomsday prepper, preparing for 2005 when Santa gets to be released and gets to be,
back to his ways,
killing ways again.
Right.
And so this kid is like going around, and he, at first he doesn't understand. He just thinks his grandpa's this cranky old man that doesn't like Christmas. And then, when Santa starts killing everybody, he changes his mind, and now it's up to the kid, his girlfriend, and his grandpa to basically stop Santa. I don't want to give away anything at the end, but I do at the same time. Santa survives. And I'm kind of disappointed that they never made a Santa Sleigh 2.
Yeah, you know what though? I feel like they would have, but they probably would have replaced Goldberg.
Fair point.
It'd be like The Rock or something.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah, WWE would actually take over.
Right.
Yeah,
kind of like Jingle All the Way 2 when they took out Arnold and they put Larry the Cable Guy. Yeah, no,
not as good.
Not at all.
But overall, like I said, cheesy acting. There is some comedy in there. There's actually quite a bit of comedy in there.
Absolutely.
Definitely not a kids movie.
No.
There's some really gory scenes in there. And it's funny to hear Bill Goldberg say bitch.
Yeah. Which he did when he came back to WWE for that little run.
Yes, but in WCW he's this kind of clean-cut killer. Though.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was completely different.
And if I'm not mistaken, you have a clip?
I do. This clip is so how you want to start a movie off with a bang?
This is what we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Start with a good sequence that pulls you in.
Yes. And this clip has got endless people. You got
Fran
Drescher. You got Chris Kattan.
Who was on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
He was the
Exactly. What was that? Night of the Roxbury guys?
Yeah.
James Caan, who is the dad from Elf.
Funny that he's in a Happy Kids movie.
Right.
And then this for...
So this dinner scene alone, we had discussed this, and we pretty much said that they wasted their whole budget on just the 2-minute dinner scene, and then the rest of the movie there's no well-known actors in it. But hey, that's okay. So we're gonna let you guys look at this dinner scene because it's fucking great. You take a look at that, and we'll be right back.
And that those that are less fortunate work harder.
Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
Jack Frost.
Put my hat back on.
Not to be confused with Michael Keaton's version of Jack Frost, because two totally different movies. You don't want to mess up. You don't want to sit down with your kid and say, "Hey, let's watch Jack Frost." Not this one. Not this one.
One's a nice, happy, kid-friendly movie, and the
Right.
next one is a do not watch with your kids.
Mutant killer snowman who says very vulgar things and does very vulgar things.
Which
so, yeah.
personally I think is more entertaining.
Me too. Me too. All right, so this is set in the fictional town of Snowmanton. Sorry, excuse me. Snowmanton. These beers, man, they'll do it to you. Can't talk anymore. A week before Christmas, a truck carrying serial killer Jack Frost to his execution crashes into a genetics truck. Now you know something's going to go wrong here, right? But let's think about that for a second.
You're either going to become Spider-Man or you're going to become evil.
In this case, let's see. So the material causes Jack's body to mutate and fuse together with the snow. You know where this is going, right? Okay. Yeah. So he's presumed dead, obviously so, because his body melts away. Now, this is a horror movie. You know he's coming back. He comes back as a killer snowman.
It'd be a very short movie if you didn't come back.
Yeah, could you imagine that? Like 5 minutes into the movie, this happens and the credits roll. Like, well, shit, what the fuck happened, It's funny, people say, why did that happen in the movie? It was in the script, folks. That's the only reason why. It was in the script.
I went to some film festivals, and that's about what you got from the film festival.
So you just got like the story and the credits.
And it's like, I'm missing something. There's some key element missing. And they didn't miss that key element, which
that's crazy, man. So he comes back as a killer snowman, and he takes revenge on the sheriff that put him in jail in the first place. Yeah, it's a crazy, over the top, cheesy, low budget, fun ass movie. Jack, who is a talking killer snowman, so he talks shit as he kills you, basically, which makes it even more funny and cheesy. And it has Shane Elizabeth in it, and she dies in a very fun way, I guess you can call it. She's taking a bath, and old Jack kind of becomes the water and forms into the snowman, and yeah, we're leaving it at that. So, this, of course, spawned a sequel because, hey, every cheesy, good, fun movie spawns a sequel, does it not?
Of course.
Some should, and they don't, but this one did. So you have Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Killer Mutant Snowman. Yeah. So after the run-in with a killer snowman, Jack Frost, of course, we talked about, the sheriff and his family take a trip to the tropics. Well, now, let's be honest now, the tropics are warm, right?
Right.
So would a snowman survive in the tropics?
No, he's going to melt.
Well, after an experiment that resurrects Jack, he heads on a vacation to continue his murderous spree. But this time he's got some killer snowballs with him, who have these like little ice teeth, and yeah. So Jack makes it in the tropics, and he goes after the sheriff again. Unfortunately, this movie was supposed to have a third movie in the series, but the guy who played the sheriff died in real life, so they decided to pretty much scrap that. But I'd love to see a third one, honestly, just because.
I mean, they can always replace the sheriff.
That's true.
It could
I
still
guess
happen.
he was like a really huge part of these movies, though, like even like behind the scenes type of thing. So, unfortunately, with his death, they decided not to go on with the movies. But dude, honestly, if you haven't seen them, I don't think you haven't. You said you might have seen the first one.
I feel like I've seen the first one.
Then you
been
probably have.
forever since I've seen it.
I mean, look at the cover of it. If you saw that sitting in the store, would you not want to check that out? Like,
yeah,
seriously?
absolutely.
Like, these are fun ass movies. This DVD was a special one put out by Vinegar Syndrome.
This is the second one, right? Yeah.
Yes. And Vinegar Syndrome always does like cool ass covers. I took the slip cover off for now, but I mean, these guys always put out cool stuff. Fun ass movies. If you haven't seen them, do yourself a favor, check them out. We're going to show you a clip though to show you just how cheesy these movies are. They think they killed Jack at some point, and well, Jack's not dead because what horror guy dies? I mean, let's be honest. So take a look at that, and we'll be right back.
Oh, maybe Manly's right. What could have survived that?
Look, Ma! I'm a Picasso!
You gotta be shitting me.
Come on, run! I'll be back when I pull myself together! Hey! Anyone got an aspirin?
So we're moving on. This is one that you're familiar with. I'm familiar with. I'm going to let you take this one, though. Christmas Horror Story. Or, if you buy it from Walmart, it's a holiday horror story, which is sitting right over there, and you can see that.
because we have to be politically correct.
Yeah, Walmart's, it's a trip. They're a trip sometimes.
Can I just say, please stop being butthurt about everything, people.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, seriously.
It's Christmas. It doesn't have to be happy holidays. You know, say whatever the hell you want, but it's Christmas.
Listen, Christmas, the next day is Kwanzaa this year.
Yep.
Please quit being butthurt.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, man. This world is fucked up enough.
I'm a quarter Jew.
You know?
I'll wish people Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas in the same breath.
This year's new thing was, I'm offended by it, baby, it's cold outside. Really?
Oh, God.
It's
Don't
a
even
song,
get me,
people.
Don't get me started on all those.
Seriously.
All those.
It's
There's
a
a
fucking
bunch.
song, man.
So,
Get over it.
but a Christmas horror story.
Yes.
A Christmas horror story.
Mm-hmm.
So, this movie is one of those ones that I think is a sleeper film because I never even heard of it until last year.
It's what I would call a hidden gem. Exactly, man.
It came out in 2015.
Yep.
Like I said, I never heard of it until last year, and it was actually one of my 31 Days of Horror movies for Halloween last year.
Let me just throw in, it's also an anthology, which is, again, one of my favorite things.
So the way this one starts is the startup of it is really cool. You see Santa walking through a stable with like his reindeers like banging on their doors and all that, but you don't ever see his face. It's like his like silhouette, or it's his boots, or it's the back of him, or whatever.
Right.
When he finally turns around, you see this giant gash down his face. Like, it's really cool. Like, the imagery is awesome. I do have to say that I am big on imagery. I'm big on, like, special effects. I'm big on just production itself. A movie could be horrible,
Yes.
and I will still love it because of the way it looks.
I love when a movie actually still does practical effects today.
Yes.
Especially when you have, like, you know, CGI obviously takes over a lot of stuff.
Right.
But when they still do practical effects, that just sets a movie apart, man.
Right. But yeah, so visually stimulating, extremely visually stimulating, and it's actually, so it's set up as a bunch of shorts.
Right.
There is a Santa zombie short where it's not Santa's the zombie, but the elves are the zombie.
Yep.
You know, elves come in, oh, this one's sick, and blah, 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 he did this, he did that, you know, and all of a sudden they all start getting infected and
That was a
attacking
good one.
Santa.
I
That was a
enjoyed
fun
that
one.
one. Yes.
That's a very fun one.
Yep.
There is a Krampus short in there,
Mm-hmm.
which Krampus is gaining a lot of popularity now. People
true.
didn't know. I mean, I've known about Krampus since I was in high school.
Yeah.
And I loved him.
I went and got my picture taken with Krampus this year.
There you go.
Sure did.
I thought it was awesome. I've always liked other nationalities' traditions for
It's
things.
a really cool story to be told.
Yes.
Especially through the horror genre.
Right.
You know, very cool.
There is another one with a changeling, where they're going in and cutting down the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And
That
their
was
son
good, too.
gets switched out with a
Yeah.
changeling. That's the one, I forgot all about that one.
That was a good one.
It's just like, that's one of those ones that, again, this is another one I watched recently because they're worth watching again.
Yeah, there's some that aren't, and we've said that about some of these that we've already talked about. Some
Right.
are you're going to watch numerous times over, and some you're going to give that one watch, and it's tough getting through that first watch. You're not going to do it again.
Please I'm going to do another public service announcement. If you start a movie, even if you don't like it, please make it through it because you never know what kind of gem you'll find.
No, that's true.
I've started movies that I'm just like, oh, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
And I've ended up loving the movie by the end.
Some start out very slow burn and then pick up and
Right.
they're just.
And then
from there
there
it
are
takes
some
off.
that, you know, by the end you're just like, yeah, I wasted an hour and a half.
Yes. You'll
It's
never
only
get it
an hour
back,
and a
but
half.
you know what? At least you saw it, right?
Yeah.
And if you're a true horror fan, damn it, you'll watch anything. From
Right.
cheesy to just downright terrible to shit that's posted on YouTube, like to anything, man. It doesn't matter what it is.
There's another short in there, though, with a, it's like a paranormal investigation team going through an old school, trying to find this ghost. I don't want to give away much because I really do feel like this is one of those ones that everybody should give a chance to.
Yeah, for sure.
But I love at the end it comes down to Santa fighting Krampus, which is something I think they haven't really gotten. They haven't really touched on in
really don't.
major budget movies.
There was one. It's and it wasn't major budget, but it's put out by Epic Pictures, and they do a lot of cool movies too. It's called Sleigh Bells. I just watched that one too recently, and that does have like Santa and Krampus kind of going at it a little bit. Takes a little bit different of a toll towards the end there, but pretty cool movie though. You know, it was decent.
Yeah.
But what I like about this one that we're talking about now is like how you said it comes up with Santa versus Krampus, but the wraparound story.
Yeah,
that's
is
the fun part.
It starts with the Santa. It starts with Santa in the stables. It ends with the same Santa fighting Krampus. And it's the same Krampus as earlier in the movie. The Santa's the same Santa as the zombie elves. Yep. So they keep it all tied together. And there's even like little key elements for the changeling and the horror, horror investigation people.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a really good, well thought out movie.
Mm-hmm. What's funny about it is when you find out that Santa really isn't Santa, though.
Yeah.
And what's really like that, like I said, that wraparound story.
But okay.
No, you know what? Might as well tell them. You know, if you haven't seen it, don't watch this part. But no, you got to, because that wraparound story is cool shit, man. I love that. Like, go ahead, seriously. Like,
no, go ahead.
Go for it.
You want to burn it?
No. You know what? We're gonna let Kevin burn this one. Damn it. We're gonna do it. All right. So Santa.
I refuse to do spoilers.
All right.
For the record, I refuse to do spoilers. So
you know
if you want to spoil the movie, I'll let you do it.
We'll be nice. We won't spoil it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But there is one key point of this that you need to know, though. You got to tell them about the man at the end. You got to tell them about him. That's not a spoiler. What about the man at the end of it?
Why am I forgetting this? What are you talking about?
William Shatner.
Oh, he's not just at the end.
Yeah,
though.
but you got it.
William Shatner is all right. So William Shatner is probably the only name.
Yeah.
In this
well,
movie.
Richard Riley, who plays Santa, he's pretty well known in, like, you know, some stuff, you know.
All right. But William Shatner plays a radio host. All right. It's so spoiler.
Well, I mean, it is, but it isn't. You got to talk about it. If you watch, if you're a fan of Star Trek, if you're a fan of Michael Myers' face, William Shatner's the way to go. If I remember right, there doesn't he say "fuck" at the end?
Yeah.
That alone, right there, William Shatner saying "fuck." If you don't want to watch, don't fast forward the movie.
Is that the spoiler you wanted me to give away?
You know what? William Shatner says "fuck." You know what? Just go with it. We won't spoil the movie for you. We won't tell you the wraparound.
He is a very in the movie. He is a DJ on the radio.
Yes.
And he is a very Christmas-loving DJ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah.
Kind of a throwback to like The Fog with Adrian Barbeau being the radio DJ and stuff. You know, it's kind of cool having that, like, you know, the voice of, you know.
Yeah, and he's kind of like the in between for all the shorts.
Yeah. He's pretty much almost like the storyteller thing.
Yeah.
You know, which is cool.
Yeah.
All right, I respect him for not giving.
I was about to say, like, what are you talking about? The man. Well, William Shatner is the man.
Right.
So,
exactly.
all right, I get what you're saying.
Yes. No spoilers, though. Just watch the movie.
I hate spoilers. Any of you who spoil shit on Facebook or YouTube
or
Instagram
that.
Or Twitter, dude, I hate you all. And please stop.
When Halloween, and I'm going to revert back to this because I know what I do. When Halloween came out earlier this year, I stayed off of Facebook. I stayed off of anything that I knew people were going to see that shit early. People that were posting, like, you know, the plot of the movie and the spoilers for it. I didn't want to see shit. When I went and saw it in the theater, I saw it for the first time. Nothing. And that's the way I like it. We won't spoil it for you. I respect that.
I'm going to do this, all right? Me personally, I don't spoil anything. It doesn't matter how long it's been out. I want you to go see it yourself. If you want a spoiler, there's plenty of people who probably already done it. But any of you who do spoilers, please put your right hand up right now and say, I state your name, will not spoil, state whatever movie, TV show, video game, etc. for 3 weeks after it's been out.
That's a good. Hey, that's doable. Should be doable.
3 weeks. 3 weeks, because if I haven't seen it in 3 weeks, it's my own fault.
Damn right. All right, we're gonna move on to Silent Night. This is kind of loosely based. I don't want to call it a remake because it's really not. Kind of loosely based off Silent Night, Deadly Night, but not. This is one I watched a few years ago. I can't say I remember everything about it. I do know that Malcolm McDowell's in it, who obviously is known from A Clockwork Orange and playing Dr. Loomis in Rob Zombie's version of Halloween. Jimmy King is in it, who I got to work with in Escape Plan 3, which was really cool. She was also in the remake of My Bloody Valentine. So Santa's basically going around killing folks. He's got a flamethrower.
We have
at
a
some
theme
point.
here.
Yeah,
Santa killing.
Killer Santas, man. Those are the movies.
That is a Christmas spirit.
Yeah, 100%. Santa does have a flamethrower at one point. He does some cool killing. He kills a bratty little girl with like a cattle prod, you know. So Santa ain't playing in this movie. Like he's letting you know you fucked up. He's coming for you. Even if you didn't fuck up, he's still coming for you. You know, it's sad, man, because I remember the movie, bits and pieces of it, but I don't remember all of it. But I do have one really cool death from this movie that is a spoiler alert, but you got to see it, man. If you don't want to see it, don't watch this part. You got to see this cool death. All I'm going to say is it involves a wood chipper. Not so much like Tucker Dell versus Evil Wood Chipper, but it's a wood chipper nonetheless. Take a look at this, and we'll be right back. We're moving on to another one, and it's called Better Watch Out. Have you ever heard of this one?
Yes, I've heard of it.
All right, so
Do I know it?
never
No.
saw it though. Okay,
No.
So Better Watch Out is one of those ones I want to say came out last year.
I want to say 2 years ago. I really
Really?
feel like I really feel like I heard
And
of
for
it.
me, I think I watched it for the first time last year.
Okay.
All right. So it kind of, I want to say it kind of more, it gives you that illusion that it's going to start off more home invasion type of thing. So you have this young kid who I want to say is maybe 13, 14 years old
Yeah.
at the most. Got a cute babysitter who's like, a little bit older. We'll say 18, whatever, 19, whatever. Who's going to go off to college and leave and stuff. So this kid's got this huge crush on her. He's hanging out with his friend. They're talking about, all this other shit that these kids this age really, they talk about, but they shouldn't. All this shit goes down.
That's a parental advisory,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
Parents,
You should
your
know these things, but they
your
do.
kids are talking about things you don't think they're talking about.
Oh, but they are. Trust me, they're doing it. Long story short, shit starts to happen. Random pizza gets delivered that they didn't order and all this other shit. And a rock gets thrown to the window and all this shit. And, so all this stuff goes down. Someone ends up coming into the house, so the babysitter and the boy go hide. She's like instantly taking care of him. That's how she is. And
Babysitter mode.
he's trying to be the tough guy, though, trying to show her that he can do this. That's basically all this is. It finds out that he staged all this shit and he's trying to show off for her and everything else, and ended up being the friend. So now she's pissed because now he tried to pull this shit on her and she's mad. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Anyway, it kind of takes a whole new twist and turn when the kid turns out to be pretty fucking fucked up and deranged. And he planned all this, and now he's like kind of kidnapped the babysitter and her boyfriend and an ex-boyfriend and all this other stuff. And without giving too much crazy spoiler alerts, they do a scene.
I ruined your show. I'm
no,
sorry.
no, it's fine.
Say no
They-
spoilers.
They do this scene in there, and he wants to test the theory of Home Alone, the paint can theory of Home Alone. So, let's be honest, Home Alone was one of those, and that's another Christmas movie. Obviously, doesn't qualify for this show, but still, Christmas movie, fun, great movie. But the stuff that Kevin does in that movie, if that was me or you, we'd be dead.
Yeah.
If we got electrocuted by a washer machine that was full of voltage of however many watts, we'd be dead.
Listen, if I was trying to invade somebody's home and I grabbed a handle and burned my hand on it,
I'm done. I'm going home
I'm
after
going
that.
home.
Yeah,
I'm
I'd be
grabbing a
pissed.
handful of snow, putting it in my hand as I walk
Yes.
home, moping.
I would be pissed that you did that to me, but I'm going to go home still pissed that you did that to me. I'm not coming into your house because that is enough for me. I'm not going to go in. I'm done. If I fell down the steps that were full of ice, I'm going home.
Step on a nail.
I'm going home. Okay, like this is all the gist of the story. Burnt my head. I'm not going
And
to
the
make it that
stupid thing
far.
is they made a sequel.
Yes, they did. And they kept
Why
making
these
those
guys
movies.
kept coming
believe
back,
that
I don't
there's,
know.
there's 5 of them altogether.
I know the third one changed the characters altogether.
Yeah, and then 4 did it too, and I think 5 was like a made-for-TV movie.
All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, off topic.
Right,
Sorry.
yes.
Sorry.
Anyway.
I'm going home.
So they took the they took the Kevin McAllister paint can theory, and they decided to, would it really mess a person up? And he throws it the first time, and he misses. When he throws it the second time, he doesn't miss, and you don't really get to see everything per se. You do see yellow paint and blood, so you know that paint can theory, I guess, it works. In his mind, it works. Very weird movie, but good. Like I said, it starts out kind of home invasion-y, and then turns into a complete different movie. Something I didn't expect. Like, I didn't expect this to happen at all. Like, I didn't know what I was even going into. I didn't read anything about it. I just watched it. Cool
Was
movie.
this one of your 25?
Yeah, I did actually watch that, but I watched it last year too, though.
Okay.
So yeah, but I did revisit it this year though. So yeah, definitely. But cool movie though. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. For that scene alone, was cool as shit. Moving on to one that is well known by, again, this is kind of like the classification of Nightmare Before Christmas. If you haven't seen this movie, you live under a rock. Gremlins.
This is absolutely a Christmas movie.
Well, let me just start out like that. Yes. I'm glad you said that, but let me start out with this statement about Gremlins. If someone tells you this is not a Christmas movie, they are 110% wrong. This is like the debate of Die Hard being a Christmas movie. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I'm just saying.
There's snow on the ground
Yes.
for the entire movie,
Absolutely.
and they even make reference to Christmas in it.
And damn it,
Multiple times.
Carl Winslow's in it too. So if that is, that doesn't matter, but still, I say it does. Gremlins is a Christmas movie. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Nightmare Before Christmas is a Christmas movie. So we're gonna move on with Gremlins. All right, I'm gonna let you take Gremlins, man, because but you know what? Before we do that, let me just start with this stuff.
I love your little notes.
Yeah, I gotta make notes, man. Yeah, dude, you gotta have.
I've got no notes.
So, but you got it up here though. You're good. You're good. Let me just say
Not
this.
enough chair shots to the head yet.
Right, me either.
Wrestling.
So before we go into the whole talk of Gizmo and how he came about, where he came from, let me just start with this. You're given 3 rules, and you know that when you're given rules, damn it, you're going to break them. Okay, we know that's going to happen. It's going to happen in life. It does all the time. You're given 3 rules for this movie. 1, no bright light. Okay, fair enough, right? Keep him out of the sun. Keep him out of,
it hurts him.
Right, exactly.
Why would you do something that hurts your pet?
Rule number 2, don't get him wet. So you're going to have a smelly little pet because, damn it, you can't bathe him. There's a reason for
There's
this.
dry shampoo, people.
Yes, there
Use
is.
the dry shampoo on your pets.
Now, as we describe this movie more, you'll understand why these rules come into play. And rule number 3, and this is one of the most important ones, no matter how much he begs, no matter how much he cries, don't ever feed him after midnight. 3 simple rules. I think they're simple rules. I probably would have fucked up too, though, just saying. 3 simple rules that you need to know going into this. If you have not seen this movie, those are the 3 simple rules. Kevin's going to explain why those rules come into play and why you shouldn't do that.
All right, first I do want to touch on something,
Yes.
and this is something I've not figured out. When is it okay to feed him? If you're not allowed to feed him after midnight,
Well,
where does that midnight cut off?
I would say
Because, like,
if you...
I'll wake up at 3 a.m. and be hungry.
That's
Is
true.
3 a.m. okay?
Well, now think about this. What if you had a little gizmo, right? This little mogwai, okay?
A Furby.
And you... Yeah, exactly. And if you, let's say you fell asleep at 11:58, the little gizmo's all cuddled up next to you, and all that fun stuff,
I do want a gizmo.
And at 2:45 in the morning, Gizmo wakes up and sees that you maybe fell asleep with a piece of pizza like, on your chest or something, right? What's stopping him from eating it? You didn't feed him after midnight.
But it's whatever time it is. You said I wasn't paying attention. I'm
You
sorry.
can't feed him after midnight. So I would say from 12 o'clock, if you get
Is
in
it like 12 to 7?
that's a good
Because
that's a good
people are
question.
like waking up at 6 o'clock, getting
That's
ready
true.
for work,
That's
eating
true.
breakfast.
That is a good. So yeah, that's a good question. I would say make sure he gets his meal like no later than 11:59 the night before.
And then you won't need to eat till like 9
You know what?
the next
I'm gonna
day.
have to go to the shop where the little old Chinese guy is. I want specific rules, damn it. Yes, you make a good point.
All right, so Gremlins. If you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for?
Yeah,
That
get
is
on it.
by far one of the staple movies of horror genre,
Yeah,
comedy genre,
yes.
and Christmas genre.
And Gizmo is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
And he is accused. If you don't know who Gizmo is, stop watching this. I know it. I hate to take away viewers from you. Stop watching this right now. Go put in
Yes,
Gremlins and
yes.
watch it.
And then come back and watch
And
it.
then come back and finish this.
Yeah.
So Gremlins basically is, and I love that they made a sequel to this, by the way. But Gremlins is a kid gets this little pet furry thing that looks like a Furby.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, let's be honest, that's why Furby sold.
Oh yeah, because it looks just like exactly, yeah.
And they even made Gizmo Furbies.
Yeah, and they were probably made in China, so the little Chinese guy at the shop, 100%, 100% real. That's real.
But so this kid gets this Furby. He buys this Furby.
Yeah.
Names it Gizmo.
Mm-hmm.
He's told these rules. I'm sorry. He doesn't buy it. His dad buys it for him.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I ruined it.
But Dad is very specific in telling him these rules.
He does tell him these
Yeah.
rules. Make sure that, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. So 3 rules.
Mm-hmm.
What does the kid do? He screws up.
I think the first thing he did was take a picture of him. and a bright light.
Bright light, and you get Gizmo going bright light. You
Exactly.
know? So, when you give him food, when you get him wet, let me rephrase this. When you get him wet first, boils form on his back. More Gizmos show up.
Exactly.
These Gizmos aren't as nice as the original Gizmo.
They're kind of cute, but they're kind of shitty looking at the same time. But they're definitely not as nice at all.
Right now they change the clocks.
Yes.
And get fed before midnight.
Yep.
Or after midnight. I'm sorry. Get fed after midnight. They turn into these grotesque, goblin-y looking things called gremlins.
Which, if we're talking practical effects again, those were awesome.
They were.
Man.
They were.
Yeah.
And by far, like, as far as those kind of like puppetry goes, you don't have that anymore.
No,
Special
you really
effects
don't.
has ruined puppetry. But anyway, get back to the movie. They're evil. They're trying to take over, do evil things, blah blah blah. It is kid friendly because there is not gore,
No.
especially not gore.
I
For
think
the
the
sake
worst
of
thing you
gore.
get out of that movie is Gizmo Caca, and that's it. If that's the worst you get, that's not so bad.
But now it's up to the kid who has Gizmo, Gizmo himself, and the kid's girlfriend to stop these gremlins from basically being gremlins and doing gremlin-y things and being evil. So.
Gremlinly things. That's my new favorite phrase of all time. Yes.
Copyright. I called it.
Yes. Gremlinly things. I can't even say it together.
Gremlinly things.
Yes. That is the new phrase for today. Yes.
But like I said, copyright. All rights reserved.
If this was Pee-wee's Playhouse, every time he'd say that, I'd scream.
Ah!
Exactly.
But yes, so long story short, it's up to them to save the day. Stop the gremlins. There's really fun scenes. There's funny scenes. There's a great scene with Gizmo driving a car.
Yeah.
Not a real car, like a Barbie-style car.
Do you remember when you put the headband on and you turned into Rambo in the one too? That was great.
And I mean, and that's the thing is like the comedy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The comedy stuff really makes this movie. I don't put it in the horror category, although I know it is considered a comedy horror movie.
Yeah. You can kind of really, if you think about it, you can do comedy, fantasy, horror. I mean, it covers a lot of
bases.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it is a Christmas movie.
Absolutely.
Getting back to that.
Yep.
So, again, without spoiling anything, you know how these movies go.
Oh yeah.
But without spoiling anything, you also know how sequels get made.
Mm-hmm.
So, do yourself a favor, watch Gremlins if you haven't.
I think the sequel held up just as good as the original.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The theater scene.
Yeah, with Hulk Hogan. I just want to throw that out there.
Yes.
We're talking wrestling horror stuff. Goldberg and now Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
I'm telling you, you need to do a wrestling horror.
What do you guys think? Wrestling and horror movies together?
Comments down below.
Let's do
you
that.
want to see a wrestling horror?
That, you know what? When I was going to search on my phone earlier, when we were off camera for a second, it was that movie you were talking about with the lucha mask. I damn it, I have that movie, and we're going to look it up, and when we come back, we're going to definitely talk about that for a second. We're going to move on to one that we both know very well, and this is another one that I think that people have had to have seen. If you haven't, really get on it. Is Krampus.
Oh, I love Krampus.
Let me just start out by saying, when I heard about Krampus, it was from the same director that brought us Trick or Treat, which I absolutely love Trick or Treat. Again, an anthology movie. Love my anthologies. So I knew that Krampus was going to be good just because of who the director was.
Based off of Trick or Treat alone.
Yeah.
And again, I go back to this. Visually stimulating.
Yeah.
Trick or Treat was extremely visually stimulating.
So well done.
And Krampus is extremely visually stimulating.
No, and one of the things you said while we were off camera, which I know we're going to touch on too, without jumping too far into it, was the fact that it had that little bit of low budget look to it. But like you said, man, when it got to like the killer toys and the gingerbread man,
and
look at that visually, like it's great, like it looks awesome.
And I've got to say that the elves in Krampus are my favorite looking Christmas elf horror. I don't even know how to explain it. They're the best looking horror elves of a Christmas movie.
Yeah, definitely not like elves with Dan Haggerty. Just saying, we talked about that one. No, and it was just Elf, by the way. And Krampus himself looked good. Like, when you finally got to see him, he himself looked good. But before we jump too far, I'm gonna let you take over and run in with this one. I huge fan of this movie. Just want to throw that out there.
So, all right. So Krampus, for any of you who don't know, like I said, Krampus is getting to be a big thing.
Yeah.
And I've known about it for a while. But for any of you who don't know, excuse me, the story of Krampus is, Santa comes and gives gifts to the good kids. Krampus comes and punishes the bad ones.
Right.
Not the coal in the stocking, but like he beats them and, even eats them. So, for the really bad ones.
It makes me want to be like really good all year, man. I don't want to do that.
Listen, I like Krampus. I want to meet him.
I don't want him to eat me though. Like, I don't want to go that far. Just leave it at that. I don't want to go that far.
So, the story is based around a family who is basically a bunch of brats. Like, the kids are brats, the parents are jerks, and there's the little boy who is a good little boy.
Yeah, still believes in Santa.
Really believes in Santa, wants good for his family, blah, blah, blah. And his grandma who kind of favors him.
Right.
And wants the good things to happen.
Yeah, and she knows the story.
She knows the story of Krampus because her family was actually taken and beaten and killed and blah, blah, blah by Krampus. So she passes this down to her grandson, gives him a bulb, like a Christmas bulb. And that bulb actually comes into play later in the movie.
Sure does.
I really want to spoil this one, but I'm not going to.
He's a good dude. He won't spoil it for you.
I'm really, really into this movie, and I really want you guys to watch it, so I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah, it's definitely one you need to see. I agree.
The deaths are funny, but also not so funny in some sequences.
Right.
Like I said, there is the animation of the toys, the animation of the gingerbread men, which make it funny.
Yeah.
But makes it like,
so well done.
Yeah.
So well
like,
done.
I watched it and I wasn't. I mean, I don't get scared at these movies anyway. But this is one that, as a kid, I wouldn't have watched and been scared of, even though there is some gruesome stuff in it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With that being said, like I said, I don't want to ruin anything.
Yeah.
I do want to let you know that a bunch of the family members die. I'm not going to tell you who or how or when or where.
I don't want to ruin the end, but I do want to say that it was done.
There's a twist ending.
It was a unique ending.
Yes.
That's what I liked about it.
Because you think it's all good and happy and everything.
Yeah.
But then you get another perspective.
Yes.
And from that perspective, it makes you wonder, like, okay, did this happen or did this happen? And I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to ruin it.
It makes you question everything you just watched.
Yes.
And that's what it does. And it's a very unique ending without giving it completely away. Like I said, it's a very unique ending. I liked it.
Yes.
Great movie.
And as far as cheesiness goes, yes, there's some cheese to it.
Yeah, but you know what?
But when you have a situation or a character, I should say, like Krampus,
Right, yeah.
It's hard not to cheese some things up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But it is definitely, as far as I am concerned, the Krampus style movies I have seen, even like little 10-minute movie shorts, this is by far my favorite one.
Absolutely, man. Again, if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. And if you have seen it, watch it again. Because it's a good one, man. One you can watch again, either on your Halloween list or your Christmas list, or all year round. These
We
movies
watched
you can
it.
watch all the time.
We watched it as our 31 days of Halloween, and then we watched it again around Christmas.
So we are going to show a clip from that, because we talked about the gingerbread men. So we are going to show you a clip of that real quick. So take a look at that, and we'll be right back.
Merry Christmas, Mother. That's a good girl.
All right, we're back, and we're talking Christmas horror, and we got to do our final two.
Yep.
To me, these are the ones that, these are the top of the list, man. So we're starting off with Slient Night Deadly Night. Have you ever seen that one?
I have not.
Another product of the 80s. But this one, a little bit better than your normal 80s movie.
I keep taking my hat off. I'm sorry.
All right, so this is... it came out in the 80s again, like I said, man, and was advertised as a killer Santa, so that created quite the controversy, of course, in the 80s, so it was... Movie's terrible, it should be banned, this, that, stuff was cut out of it, everything else. You get this kid named Billy, who is already sketchy on Santa Claus, in the first place. He gets told a crazy story by his... Now, think about this word first, and then you'll understand why this is weird. A crazy story by his catatonic grandpa. So Grandpa has sat in his room and hasn't said shit for years, but he comes to life, I guess, and tells his story to his poor grandson. All right? Which we're going to touch on that part later. And then this poor kid watches his mom and dad get killed by a man dressed in a Santa suit on Christmas Eve. That's you're gonna grow up to do some fucked up shit.
Yeah,
okay?
I don't think I'd be able to be functional in society.
No, not at all. He's then shipped off to a Catholic orphanage, and he's not treated so well there. Mother Superior there is a pretty mean lady. So that alone tells you that this poor kid, he's had a bad life, okay?
Yeah.
He grows up, he gets a job at a local toy store, and shit kind of hits the fan when he's asked to play Santa.
Oh, jeez.
Think about that. You've suffered that entire life of being scared to death of Santa.
You
and
just
being
watch your
told
family
that,
get killed by Santa, and now you have to be Santa.
Right, and being told that, Santa punishes the bad kids. This is all he knows. If you're naughty, Santa's going to punish you. That's all he knows. That's it. And I will say that he's a very uncomfortable Santa Claus. And we're talking, like, with the likes of Billy Bob Thornton and Bad Santa, like, no, that wasn't bad. This is uncomfortable, okay? So when he becomes Santa, all hell breaks loose. To me, the best kill in the movie comes from Linnea Quigley. I don't know if you know her from Night of the Demons and Return of the Living Dead.
Sadly,
she has shown her boobs in more 80s and 90s movies than I think anybody in the world.
I probably have known her.
Then you believe me, if you don't know her face, you know her boobs. She's been in everything, but he takes her, picks her up, and puts her chest first through the antlers of a deer that is on a wall. And this is an awesome scene, man. Someone made an ornament of it. It's pretty badass. Again, a cool-ass movie. If you're talking Killer Santas, this one is right there on the top of the list, man. It spawned a sequel. Yeah, so it spawned a sequel, Slient Night Deadly Night 2, where the brother of Billy, Ricky, who you do see in this movie, was just a baby at the time, but when Billy went back to the orphanage to kind of take care of Mother Superior, it didn't happen, unfortunately. But Ricky saw this happen, so now he's fucked up too, obviously. He takes over as Killer Santa in this one. He's obviously dealt with his own trauma in life with everything else. It does take a lot of footage from the original and kind of piece it into the second.
I like when movies do that. Hellraiser.
I know, I do too. And what I really like is and we'll talk about that in one of our next one. But I have a thing for that too, though. It does take, like I said, a lot of footage from the first one. It's nowhere near as good as the first. Sometimes sequels live up, sometimes don't.
Yeah.
And honestly, it really only gets talked about for one scene. And I'm just going to say two words. We're going to show you a clip from the first one and the second one. But this one here, Garbage Day. If you've ever heard anything about Slient Night Deadly Night 2, you're going to hear the phrase Garbage Day. So we're going to show you a clip from Slient Night Deadly Night with catatonic grandpa who comes back to life and tells this scary-ass story, which would scare the shit out of me as a kid.
Gave me shivers. I don't know why.
Because grandpa's creepy as shit, that's why. And we're going to show you a clip from the infamous Garbage Day scene from Slient Night Deadly Night 2. And we'll be right back.
Grandpa? Mom!
What do you want her for? She can't help you. Nobody can. You scared, ain't you? You should be. Christmas Eve is the scariest damn night of the year. I'd be scared too if I was you. You know what happens Christmas Eve, don't you? You know all about Santa Claus.
He brings presents to all good boys and girls.
Your daddy told you that, didn't he? Well, I'll tell you something. Santa Claus only brings presents to them that's been good all year. To the ones that ain't done nothing naughty. Naughty. All the other ones. All the naughty ones. He punishes. What about you, boy? You've been good all year? You see Santa Claus tonight? You better run, boy. You better run for your life.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
All right, man, we're hitting on the top of the Christmas horror movies. My personal favorite from 1974, Black Christmas. Do you know anything about this one?
Sadly, no.
Great movie. Seriously, I know we only have, 2 days before Christmas. If you get a chance, you have some spare time, check this one out.
I'll watch it
I
tonight.
think you will, obviously, I really think you'll enjoy this one. We have similar taste when it comes to movies.
We were looking it up before
Yeah.
coming back, and Michelle Trachtenberg is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Lacey Chatterton's in
No,
it.
that's the remake. That's the remake.
okay.
Yeah, there's two different versions. This is the 1974 version.
Okay. My mistake.
No, but still, you're on the right track though. This is funny though because it's directed by Bob Clark, who, believe it or not, also directed Christmas Story. Two different horror, two different Christmas movies. Sorry. Anyway, the story centers around a group of sorority sisters who receive these threatening calls and are stalked and murdered by a killer. All right, so we as the audience get to see that this person has made his way into the house, but they don't know that. As the movie goes on, the phone calls keep happening. They're pretty vulgar for the 70s, and they could do stuff like that back then. You know? Here's some pretty vulgar stuff. Okay, so this is this person, Billy, who you know a little bit about, is calling and saying these nasty ass things and talking about where's Agnes, who is his sister and stuff, who you don't get to really see a lot of, or really anything in this movie. Eventually things go on, they go to the cops and let them know that they're getting these phone calls, and the cops start to tap the line and stuff, and eventually find out that the calls are being made from inside the house. Of course, these girls are being picked off.
Stereotypical urban legend.
Yeah.
The calls are from the attic.
Again, was really cool. Like,
Yeah.
You don't really see, you get to see, we'll say, from here up on the killer, that's it. You don't see him, you don't know what he looks like, you don't know anything about him, except for there's a little bit of story that the house, I think it is the house mother tells the story. And, obviously the girls are getting picked off one by one. Margot Kidder's in it, who is a long shot different from what she is as Lois Lane.
All right.
Very vulgar in this movie. Yeah, for sure. They say a lot of this inspired Carpenter's Halloween. So this coming out in 74.
Interesting.
Obviously Halloween came out in 78. A lot of this, they said, kind of inspired him too. Very cool movie. What I liked about this one, and I don't know, to me, people say, okay, that movie came out in the 70s. I don't want to watch it. Dude, really good movie. Seriously.
No, there's a lot of older movies that are worth watching and that still even hold up to the time.
Right. And I learned that over time too. Like, I wasn't, for example, The Hills Have Eyes. When I went to a convention one time, I saw Michael Berryman and I was like, okay, I know him from certain stuff, but I never really watched The Hills Have Eyes. When I met him, I went back and watched the movie. I was like, well, shit. And that kind of got me into watching like the older stuff.
And that original one is better than the remakes.
Oh, yeah.
And the remakes were good.
No, they were. I didn't like the second one.
No.
That first one was good.
But that original one still is, and like I said, one of those ones that holds up today.
Right. This is one of those ones, like I said, man, if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. I think you would enjoy it for sure. It did spawn a remake in 2006, I want to say.
And that's one with Michelle Trachtenberg and Lacey Chatterton.
The remake was more of a... 74 gave you a little bit of background on Billy. 2006 takes it and kind of brings the Billy character to life. He has this, was it jaundice, I think, that disease where your skin's yellow.
Yeah.
Billy was a, let's see, he was made out of incest, we'll say. Kind of messed up how that all worked out. Or no, Billy wasn't, I'm sorry. His sister Agnes was, though.
Okay.
Through incest. The mom ended up having sex with Billy, and Agnes came along, who became his sister and his daughter.
Yeah.
Very strange. So Agnes,
I love your brother, Dad.
Right. So very West Virginia-esque, you know.
So, family in West Virginia. Be careful.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. If you go there for a wrestling trip, so it's kind of scary. Just saying. But so you have the whole Agnes thing. Again, you heard about her in the original, but you didn't know really. You knew that was his sister, but you didn't know what the hell was going on. Agnes does come into play in this movie. They give you more of the backstory on her. Billy ends up killing his mom eventually. She locks him up in the attic. That's where he stays.
Okay.
He ends up killing her at some point and makes cookies out of her flesh and eats them. And that's when he gets arrested. That's what he's doing. He's eating the flesh of his mom in cookie form.
Then.
He's then sent to an asylum, kind of Michael Myers-esque, where he stays for quite some time. Obviously, he's going to escape. He goes now to the sorority house. And what I like about the remake of this, they took Andrea Martin, who played one of the sorority sisters in the original, who then became the house mother in the remake. I love when remakes take and put someone from the original in the movie.
Absolutely.
I love that, man. I think that's one of the coolest things. Because there's a lot of times when you hear remakes come out and you're like, oh, fuck. They're going to ruin this movie. It's going to suck. But when they just take that little bit of cameo. Yeah, anything, man. She actually had a decent
The Ghostbusters did that. They used a lot of cameos.
Yes, they did. Absolutely. Yeah. So I love when they do stuff like that. The remake wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed it. Agnes, when you do see her, to me, looks like a cross between Marlon and or Shawn Wayans from White Chicks and John Cena. Mesh that together, you have Agnes. It was definitely a dude playing a woman.
That's a little rough.
For sure. And he wasn't supposed to be a drag queen. He was just a dude playing a woman.
That's right.
Agnes was rough. Again, the remake was decent. I don't want to say it was terrible. Went and saw it probably the year it came out. So we're talking 2006. In the theater on Christmas night, actually. I don't do that very often, so that was kind of cool. The original, though, definitely, to me, top notch. Again, for the time that it came out, great.
You have to check them both out.
Yeah, for sure, man.
You guys check it out, compare them, and leave your thoughts in the comments below.
Absolutely.
I'm very good on
a lot of people probably hated the remake.
Comments.
Well, a lot of people probably hated the remake as opposed to the original, but it wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. Cool kills.
They do some bad remakes. They do some good remakes.
Absolutely, we've talked about that. We did a remake show. You know how we feel about certain stuff.
I wasn't there.
No, you weren't. I apologize for that. All right, so that covers every horror movie we had, man. I mean, that's it. That's the gist of our list. There's probably some we forgot. Obviously, there's some that come out. That seems like every 5 minutes.
I mean, there's some other ones that I'm sure that we've both seen that we just didn't touch on.
Right. You can only do so many.
Right.
We'll be here all day doing,
Next year, we'll add some new ones.
So with that,
Next year.
we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Obviously, from the horror. Will we be the holiday guys today?
I guess.
So, a Merry Christmas from the holiday guys, a.k.a. the horror guys.
And
wait,
Happy New Year, too.
Wait a minute. Is it a Christmas miracle? Is it snowing right now?
I'm pretty sure that's asbestos.
No, that's snow.
No, I think that's
asbestos. We weren't supposed to have a white Christmas.
No, I'm out of here.
Wait, no.
You didn't tell me your house is
no, that's
diseased.
That's snow.
Nope. I'll see you later. Merry Christmas.
I just lost my co-host. It is snowing. That's not asbestos. I promise you. Merry Christmas, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.